Welcome back to the channel, folks. It's a cold winter day here in upstate New York, but we're not going to let that stop us. We're doing an unboxing and assembly of the Wooken SwiftX. It's a cruiser style e-bike. We're going to show you what it's all about. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's budget friendly. Let's get into it. The Wooken SwiftX. Okay. Decent packaging. Looks like this is the warm white. Okay, let's go ahead and pull the bike out and get to assembling. Chain guard and a back rack that's already assembled for us. Let's go ahead and pop off some of these zip ties. I'm always going to say it, make sure you're just cutting the zip ties and not a wire. It's really easy to make a mistake. Handlebars. Wooken. And that warm white looks better in person. Some shiny plastic fenders. Looks like mechanical disc brakes, 160 millimeter rotors. I like the attention to detail so you don't scuff your rims. Seems comfortable. Okay, adjustable suspension with lockout. That's always good to see. When you see custom cut foam like this, you know they're thinking about shipping. Let's see what's in our accessories box. Okay, here's everything that came in our accessories box. We have our owner's manual, our pedals, left and right, front fork skewer, so that's our quick release for the front tire, and also a little pouch with some tools in it. Pretty basic tools, but what we'll need to assemble the bike, I'm sure. And then in the other small box, we had our charger with cord, and it's a 2-amp charger. So that's everything that came in the small accessory box and the charger box. And this is everything that came in the shipping box. Everything you'll need for your assembly of your bike. So this is a good time before you start your assembly. If you want to get on the road quicker, you can charge your battery, and you're just going to need your key to unlock it. And usually they're on the handlebars, and they're there. So just go ahead, take your key, unlock your battery and charge it, or you can charge it on the bike as well right here. It's always easier to take the battery off and put it aside so it's not in your way during assembly. We're going to get started assembling the handlebars, and the very first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your fork's going the right direction. You want to make sure that your brake caliper for the front brake is on the left hand side of the fork. It could be spun around for shipping, so you want to make sure of that. And you want to make sure that your stem is facing this way as well. If it's not, simply unscrew the 2 screws here and turn it this direction. Like I said, sometimes they turn it backwards so it fits in the box better. So it makes sense to ship it like that, but you want to make sure you turn it the correct direction. So once you know that your fork's facing the right direction and your stem is going the right direction, we're going to go ahead and take off this plate and get our handlebars assembled. Be careful, there's also a washer on each. Let's go ahead and pick up our handlebars, and we want to get them lined up just like they're going to go on the bike here. I'm bringing the handlebars around the same side as the caliper because that's what they did. It looks like in the book, and if you look at the Amazon ad, it shows the wires coming from this side. So we'll just match it. And you can see the grooves here in the center of the handlebars. They're going to go right where the stem is, and that's where you're going to put your face plate back on, just like that. Just get it started by hand. As long as it's up there, it'll be easy to screw everything down. Get one on both sides, high and low, and that should do it. Just get a couple turns on it. It'll be enough to hold it in there. I don't usually over tighten anything too much because I'm usually going to make some changes once I'm sitting on the bike and I have a little bit of a different perspective. So keep that in mind too. You might not want to crank it down super tight. You might want to check it later on so that you have an opportunity to readjust it without loosening everything back up again. When you're tightening down the plate to the stem, you want to make sure you're going from like top left to bottom right, top right to bottom left. You just don't want to tighten them down unevenly. So just go ahead and crisscross to get them all tightened down. So this light was put on facing the wrong direction and facing down just for shipping. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew it so that we can get our front tire on, and then we'll turn it the correct direction. Hold on to that nut and loosen this up. So far we've had all the tools we needed to assemble the bike. Okay, installing the seat with seat post, you're just gonna slide your seat post down into the frame of the bike and you're gonna latch it closed right here. If it's too loose, you're gonna come over to this side here, tighten it down a little bit more, and then push it closed just like that. You should also see a mark on your thumb. If it's too loose, you're gonna wanna turn the nut on this side here a little bit, make it tighter, then go ahead and push this lever closed. And again, you should see a mark on your thumb. Then you know it's pretty tight. But there you go, seat with seat post attached. Let's flip over the bike and get the front tire assembled. We're gonna go ahead and remove this. It was just for shipping, and that's it. So that's garbage. Just keeps the fork straight during shipping. This is just for packing. So it looks like attached to the front fork skewer is an instruction sheet. So we'll take a look at that, see what that's about. Okay, so it's nice that they keep you informed. They're showing you how to install your front fork skewer. We're gonna take our brake rotor and we want it to drop right in between these brake pads right here. And then we want the axle to rest up here on the fork. Okay, so we want our brake rotor to drop right between the brake pads here and then have the axle rest right on the fork just like that. So you can see our rotors dropping right between the brake pads and the axle is going to rest right on the fork just like that. Now we're going to take our front fork skewer and we're going to have this lever on the opposite side of the rotor, and it's going to line up just like this. So we have our two lock washers and our two springs that face to the inside. One of those is going the wrong direction. We're going to go ahead and take it off. You want to make sure that the beveled end of the spring, the smaller end, is going to go toward the inside, just like that. So you want the two small ends to face each other, just like that. So the side that has the lever is the opposite side of the rotor. So we're going to go ahead and slide this right through the center of the axle. Keep in mind there's a safety washer. So this washer has a little tab on it and it's going to line up with this hole just like that. So you want that little tab to go into that hole and we're going to slide it in just like that. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. We're going to put our safety washer on first, make sure it's in the hole. Take our spring and the small end first, and then our end cap here, and we're going to screw it right on. Now as we're screwing that on, we're leaving this lever up so there's no tension on it. So we're going to go ahead and you can turn either end. We're just going to kind of turn it and hold the other side. Because as you turn it down, now when you press this lever, it's going to get harder and harder. And then we'll press it down, and that's pretty hard right there, and that's perfect. If it puts a mark on your hand, you know it's getting tightened down with enough force that it's going to hold on there well. Well, the bike's upside down. Let's go ahead and attach the pedals. I'm always going to say it, there's a left and a right pedal. You always want to make sure you're putting the left pedal on the left side and the right pedal on the right side. You don't want to cross thread them. We'll go ahead and get started putting the left side on first. The bike is upside down, so keep that in mind. I tend to start them by hand, then I know it's going to go on nice and smooth, so the likelihood is that I'm not cross-threading them if I wasn't paying attention. So we'll use the wrench the rest of the way, make it nice and snug. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay, getting the right pedal on by hand here first. And we'll tighten that down nice and snug as well. Simple as that, the pedals are assembled. Let's flip the bike right side up, get the fender and front light on. So something I really like that they did here is they have the chain guard the back fender and the back rack all pre-assembled on the bike for you, so you don't have to do it during your assembly. And that's really good because sometimes those things can be difficult to get lined up. Let's go ahead and get the headlight and front fender on. So what I think I'm gonna do is run my front fender up through the back here and bolt it on there, and my front light just like this. I just think it's gonna look better. I don't know if that's the proper way. It's kind of hard to see the book because it's such small pictures, but that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this through the back, take my light and attach the light to the front, just like this. It really doesn't matter if the light's running sideways for now, we just wanna get it started. You can see everything is kind of laying down. But yeah, I think that's gonna look nice. Now this is in the back, it's not up at the front, and the light will be in the front and everything will kind of match up. It'll look sharp, I think. So that's the way I'm gonna do it, just like this. Go ahead and hold it there and tighten it down a bit, just so we can stand everything up without having it all slide around. And before we tighten anything down too much, we'll go ahead down to the bottom and we'll tighten down our fender arms. So now I have the fender coming up the back here, lining up here, nice and flat, and then the headlight to the front. Like I said, I don't know if that's the proper way, but that's the way that I'm doing it. So feel free to follow it if you like. We're gonna go ahead and remove the screws and attach those fender arms. We're gonna use the same screws and washer that was already mounted there. Go ahead and get the first side started here. And then we'll do the other side. And we'll tighten this side down as well. Okay, we'll make that nice and snug as well. Perfect. Now you want to make sure you tighten down every nut, bolt, and screw. Even if it wasn't part of the assembly today, you just want to make sure that you're riding safe. Let's go ahead and connect the headlight wire, the yellow to the yellow. You want to make sure that you line it up. There's a notch in there, so you can only put it on one way. You want to make sure you line up them notches and snap it right on. Now that the headlight's on, let's make sure the bike powers up. And there it is. Over here on the left side of the handlebars, you have a dedicated headlight, a real loud horn, and your control display. And the control display is going to show you things like your speed, your battery strength, what pedal assist level you're in 1 through 5 by hitting the plus or minus button. And if you quickly press the power button, you'll toggle through your odometer, your tripometer, your voltage, and back to your odometer. If you hold the minus button, you'll put the bike into a walking mode. It even has cruise control. Over on the right side of the handlebars, you're going to have your 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter and your twist throttle. The seat looks like it's decently wide and it looks like it'll be pretty comfortable when riding. It came with a chain guard, fender, and back rack all pre-assembled. A 500 watt hub motor with 75 Newton meters of torque. Mechanical brakes with 160 millimeter rotors. This is a reflector, it's not a brake light. I like that the battery's integrated into the frame. You can get a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery or a 10.4 amp hour battery. The max speed on this bike is going to be 20 miles per hour. You have a cadence sensor, which means you won't have to pedal too hard to keep this bike going. Tires are 26 by 2.1 inches, that's nice. The rider height on this bike is going to be from 5'1" to 6'3", and it's going to have a maximum load capacity of 286 pounds. So keep that in mind if you're a heavy rider. There's no suspension on the back of the bike, it's a hardtail, but you do get some suspension to the front with preload and lockout. So the manufacturer says that this bike is UL 2849 and UL 2271 certified. So that's going to wrap this one up. Check every nut, bolt, and screw on the entire bike. Even if it wasn't part of the assembly today, you want to make sure that you're riding safe. And if you have a friend or family member that's looking to purchase one of these bikes, there'll be a link in the description. It doesn't cost a penny more, and it certainly helps to support the channel. So like always, thanks for watching. Ride safe, have fun. See ya!